Hello and welcome to episode 11 of Some Like It Real. I'm Bryan.
And I'm Veronica.
And we're two cinephiles who love to talk movies.
We have weekly episodes discussing the newest films, creating lists and drafts, and keeping you updated on the latest movie headlines and awards races.
As a reminder, please like, rate, and subscribe on the YouTube channel and your favorite podcast platforms, which helps more people find the show.
And share it with any cinephiles in your life.
And today is a very special one, not just because we're doing another draft. Instead, we're adding a spin to it and making it an auction draft.
Stakes will be even higher this time, and what better person to drop money on than one Mr. Ryan Gosling?
That's right. With the release of Project Hail Mary next weekend, we will be auctioning off the films of Ryan Gosling. As usual with these drafts, we are not alone. We are very excited to be joined by Darian Scalamoni. Darian, welcome to the show. How are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys for having me. How you guys doing?
We're good.
Yeah, we're good. Excited
very
for this.
Yeah, I'm
Very excited.
very excited to talk about Ryan Gosling, an actor that in my preparation for this draft, I almost forgot how many movies of his that I've actually seen. You know what I mean? So there's a lot to talk about with this draft. I'm really excited.
For sure. Yeah. Thank you for joining us, Darian. We look forward to drafting alongside you. We'll see how this goes. But before we begin, Bryan, would you like to explain the rules?
Yes, so this is unlike the typical drafts we've done thus far. We each will have $1,000 to spend on putting together a team of 4 films, totaling 12 movies in all. We will be drafting in a traditional snake style, and if you fill up your team, you are forbidden from nominating any more films, even if it might be your turn to do so. Now, an important factor, other than it being an auction style, is that just because you pick a movie doesn't mean you necessarily get it. You get to nominate that film for the bidding.
Yeah, this doesn't sound intense whatsoever. Should be very chill and normal.
Yeah, this Gosling guy, kind of a middling lineup of movies. Anyway, it's time to pick the draft order, and I completely fumbled the bag. So the last time we did a draft, I didn't prep our names on the wheel that I always put our names on.
Your patented name wheel.
And once again, I failed to do that. So here we go, putting it in. Okay. So this is all of our names. There's no silly business being pulled. Everything is just going the way it's going. So let's see what happens. Does anyone want the first pick? I'm actually very curious. I haven't asked that question because I know, Veronica, you're like, no, I never want the first pick.
Yeah, I like to hang back and see what other people do first.
I would say in an auction format, I feel like you could be good wherever you're drafting because you could just say a movie and then you might get outbid anyway.
Yeah.
That's true. That's a good point. All right, here we go. It's in the screen. First up, we have, oh gosh, the guest gets to go first.
Oh boy.
And now, second. Oh, look at that.
You.
Look at that, Veronica. You got your
I get
wish.
to hang back.
You got your wish. All right, let me edit the doc and put our names in. So before we get into drafting, let's kind of go around to talk about what Ryan Gosling means to us. So Darian, as our guest, what does Ryan Gosling mean to you?
Yeah, I prefaced this a little bit earlier, but I knew that we had to get through the spin wheel and everything. But there's so much when it comes to Gosling and his filmography that speaks to me, especially because his career has just leveled up so much over the time. And you think about where he started out, like he's been a show business since he was a kid. I mean, he was like a Mouseketeer in the 90s. And you see how his career has evolved from a child to now being in this more mature aspect of his career, being Oscar nominated and things like that. But he's also so good at just blending genres and being this guy that can elevate any type of story, even depending on how small his role will be, which I think there's a lot of films in his filmography that are going to be a testament to that as we do the draft, because there's these great films where he has these pockets of great moments that elevate the movie dramatically, at least for me. So he's an actor that I really admire. He's an actor that I get excited anytime I hear about a new project that he's doing. Project Hail Mary, which, Bryan, I know you had a chance to already see, and I'm very excited to see it because it's one that there's a lot of hype behind and there's a lot of critical reception to it, and I'm a big fan of Lord and Miller, and getting to see him work with such a great gamut of filmmakers over his career, he's an actor that I always gravitate to because there's just so much about him to like, and then he's able to do these darker kinds of performances and other things that I don't want to preview or give anything away necessarily on where I'm going to go, but there's films such as like Half Nelson and things like Place Beyond the Pines and Blue Valentine where he's able to tap into that while still having charm. So I think he is like the definition of timeless, and he's one of the most classic actors that we still have kind of going today.
Yeah, I completely agree. Veronica, what about you? Where do you stand on Ryan Gosling?
Yeah, for sure. He's, I think, someone who's just kind of like been around my entire life. Like, I don't ever really remember necessarily learning about him. He's just like, he's always been like a great presence to have in films. He can do supporting, he can do lead. I do think definitely think he's gone through phases. I think kind of starting off, his real kickoff to his career with like The Notebook, and he was a bit of like the rom-com guy from that. But I feel like he really branched out from there, and I think that he maybe did a bunch of roles that were like kind of like strong leading man type, and I feel like the maybe late 2010s he really sort of branched out into like, oh no, this guy can just do anything. Like you really can't typecast him. You can't just stick him in any genre. Like he can really do it all, and he can go on SNL and be charming there and hilarious, and I feel like he's done a really great job of like towing that line between like well regarded actor and like movie star. People go out to see a movie because of him. That's rarer and rarer these days. So yeah, I just feel like he can do a little bit of everything really, really well. And that's like awesome to see. And that's created a great filmography that we can talk about today.
Yeah, I mean, I echo a lot of what both of you said. He's an actor that's very versatile, and he's not an actor that sticks to one particular kind of project and one kind of role. I love that he expands his horizons, especially the last 15 years. He's really solidified himself as one of the most exciting actors that we have working today. And the fact that he has worked with so many incredible filmmakers, like you were bringing up, Darian, and the fact that he has been around pretty much our entire lives, like you were saying, Veronica. He's a guy that continues to work, and he's also not someone that works multiple times a year. I like that he's very particular about the projects that he attaches himself to, and every time he's in anything, regardless of the quality of the film, he's always given 110%. He's never the issue with the movie. He's always one of the glowing spots of said project that he's involved in, but there's so much to love about him. He's very handsome, as we all know this, but he's also just so talented. And the fact that he's a really good actor, he's a really good singer, and he also just seems like a genuinely down-to-earth dude. What more do you want out of a celebrity? So this is going to be a very exciting draft. I'm so curious to see where it goes. There's a lot of really good films to choose from. So, yeah, let's do it.
Let the draft begin.
Yeah,
All right.
let's do
So,
it.
Darian, you get to go first. So, what is going to be the first film you're going to draft?
All right, so I am happy I got the first pick because to me, there's one movie that doesn't necessarily, it's not like there's a ginormous gap, but there's one film that I came into this draft saying that I really need. I really need it on my list. Maybe you guys already know that, but one thing that I do want to say before I make the pick is that the big thing with his filmography is that I don't know if there is necessarily a bad route to go because we're going to be selecting 12 movies, and he has such a large and diverse filmography that I think a lot of the audience is going to gravitate towards certain movies, and it's going to be harder to kind of dictate how that vote goes. So I'm excited to dive into all of that with you guys, but with my first pick, I'll start the bids at $150. I will go with La La Land.
I knew this was going to be the first pick. I said to Veronica, this was obviously going to be the first pick. Okay.
The only film so far that has been eligible in all of our drafts, right? 2016,
Yep.
romance, musicals, and Ryan Gosling. So
And literally, we're doing a Best Picture draft in a few weeks, and
Yep.
if it had won Best Picture, it would have been eligible there too.
just missed it.
All right, $150. I will go $200.
I will raise that. Let's just go 300. We know it's going to be a high one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go 400 immediately.
Wow. So La La Land, I mean, just an incredible film, celebrated amongst the last couple of years. I can't believe it's 10 years old. Cannot believe that it's been that long. $420.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot to say about the chemistry between him and Emma Stone that you see in other movies too, like Crazy Stupid Love, which I'm sure we might get to at some point. I'm gonna jump it to 500.
Wow.
As we know on the other draft podcast, I revealed I have quite a history with this movie. I had not been a fan for years, and then rewatched it for the musicals drafts and completely turned around. So let's just go to 6. 600.
Jesus Christ. Do you guys think that, and I've talked about this with Veronica many times, but Darian, do you think that if this film had won picture, it would have aged well? Or do you think it's best that it didn't win Best Picture in the long run? $620.
I think that it elevates kind of the cultural phenomenon around it that it didn't win Best Picture. I think it added
Yeah.
to the cult, not cult status, but just it has a lot of people returning to it over time. I'm gonna go to 650.
Yeah, I definitely think it helps its legacy that it didn't. And Damien Chazelle got director, Emma Stone got actress. Like I think that all helps its legacy too. It's still got the awards and the accolades, but Moonlight High forever. So I'm out at that number. You guys can fight over it.
What was the last bid?
650.
650. I'll go 660.
Okay, I'll go 675.
I'm out.
Congrats.
I had to get it. And I feel good
I don't
about
know
the
if I could do
number.
more than half my budget on.
I get it. So this is I'll give my reasoning too. So not only because of the film, but again because of the diverse slate that he has.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's hard for any of us to come out of this draft with a bad board. Like
Yeah, I
there's
agree.
so many
Yeah.
films that this guy has kind of worked his way in different genres. Like you look at the darker side of his filmography versus comedy versus even like in things where he is showcasing some of his abilities that he showcases in La La Land.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to do more things with physical comedy versus like musicality and dancing and things like that.
Yeah.
But La La Land to me stands out above the rest because it's a movie that I remember. I saw the movie 3 times in theaters. And I remember every time going and seeing it, I liked it more and more. And it compares personally to me up to my favorite musical of all time, which is Singin' in the Rain.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that there's a movie that came out in 2016 that like stands the test to that film to me is why it's so timeless and why it's going to grow over time, even regardless of it not winning Best Picture. And I do love Moonlight. Moonlight is a fantastic movie, and 2016 is such a great year, which is why you guys were able to do a whole draft around it. But even at 675, I still feel really good about La La Land and getting Jersey boy Damien Chazelle. His mom was a professor at my college, so shout out to that.
Love to hear that. We love Jersey representation. Yeah, I mean, it's a great film. I've said many times, like, I always joke around being like, all right, quit it with the La La Land hype, but it legit really is a really great film. And I think Gosling's performance doesn't get talked about as much as Emma Stone's. I mean, understandably, she won the Oscar for the movie and everything, but I think he's on the same level, and there are certain sequences where I kind of like his performance a bit more. But he's also so funny in this. Like, there's just things that Sebastian doesn't even say. It's just the expression that Gosling puts on his face that makes it so good. Like when he performs I Ran at the party. That shit is so funny. I was a little curt by your statement. Curt? It's so funny. I'll see you in the movies.
Yeah, I think he got dinged a little too for his singing not being quite as good, and I can't disagree with that. But it's serviceable for what it is. He's not supposed to be the greatest singer in the world,
Yeah.
but his reactions. I think a theme we're gonna see is like his facial reactions and his like line readings throughout are just like unmatched. He's just so brilliant at that.
Well, we're thinking of great facial reaction moments and expressions from Ryan Gosling. And we already brought up singing. So we're going to bring it up again with my first pick. So starting off the bid at $200. Yeah, I'm going big with this one. I'm going to go with Barbie.
Okay. I'm just gonna bring it right to $300. Barbie was one of my favorite movies that year. I think that at least maybe in the 2020s, I'll say like this is his signature role so far that I think everyone just universally loved him in. Arguably stole the movie, even though I think it's just a brilliant movie overall. That everything works as it should. But yeah, I think that this is a very big one for me and for the culture. I think so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to be able to really bid up much on this anyway, but I will talk about the film. I do think that Gosling is the best part of the film. It's a movie that I strongly gravitate to, and it's a movie that grows, I think, over time for me personally. But I do think there are parts of the film narratively that I don't I think it felt like the whole Will Ferrell side plot really I don't love in that movie.
Yeah, it's
Uh,
probably my least favorite part too.
yeah, and I do think that the chemistry between Gosling and Margot is something though that's a testament again to how he's able to kind of navigate all of these different the chemistry he has between all of his co-leads, especially female co-leads. Like he has great chemistry with everybody. And Brian, you talked about it before. Where you're like, he just seems like such a great guy. It's like he's a Canadian. Like this is in his blood. You know what I mean? Like he's just a great guy and he shares great chemistry on screen. And so even though I'm out on the bidding, I do want to give a shout out to Barbie for being one of the best movies that came out that year.
I cannot believe that he got nominated for all these awards for the movie. I'm gonna go $350 with this. I remember when the movie came out and it got this high level of acclaim, and people were like, "Guys, Barbie might be nominated for Oscars." I'm like, I mean, listen, I admire the passion, but I don't know if the Academy is going to nominate Barbie for Oscars. And the fact that it got nominated for picture and screenplay, and Gosling got nominated for supporting actor, I think that that's fucking cool. I think that's like one of the coolest nominations ever, and it was awesome too because the Academy never nominates straight up comedic performances like ever. It's such a rarity to even get a comedic performance nominated, so it felt refreshing to see all these serious performances in the lineup, and then you have Ryan Gosling as Ken, and that's like the fact that you could say that's an Oscar-nominated performance is so incredible. And the "I'm Just Ken" sequence is an all-timer, definitely going to go down as one of the funniest and most iconic sequences of this entire decade. So, yeah, 300. Actually, I'm going to raise it to 375.
Fair enough. Yeah, definitely. And I mean, his performance of "I'm Just Ken" at the Oscars is iconic in and of
Incredible.
itself. I feel like we could draft that as its own entity. But yeah, and I think that we underestimate, and I think because Barbie was so good and it was so popular, it feels like it's just like always existed in that form. Like I feel like a lot of it just became instantly iconic, and you forget that like Greta Gerwig had to create that world. She had, she and Noah Baumbach had to write this script, and then Margot and Ryan had to embody like dolls. They were, other than kids movies and stuff, we didn't really have any sense of like necessarily what Barbie and Ken would act like in a narrative feature film. So the fact that like he just is Ken, like it's just so instantly attached to him, and he just completely embodied everything that we wanted to see. His job is beach. It's like you wouldn't really know what that means, but like we get what that means because of how he delivers it and lives it. So going to 450 for me.
Sometimes I love having my boys over at my Mojo Dojo Casa House. $500.
Well, I'm feeling pretty sublime about this movie. I'm gonna bring it up to 6.
Oh my
Whoa.
god. Oh my god.
This is a big one for me. It's like my second favorite film that year.
Can Brian walk away with no Barbie or no La La Land? It's a possibility.
God.
There are a lot of good other options.
There
I'm,
are.
I'm
There
gonna I'm gonna have to
definitely are.
wait. I'm gonna have to wait forever for my turn if I don't get this film.
The good thing though, Brian, is that now you have a large sum of money if you don't wind up
That,
getting
Yeah.
that's
Barbie.
that's true. That's true. Where's the bid at?
I think 600
600. Do you think that Ryan Gosling should have won the Oscar? 620.
over Robert Downey Jr. that year. I do love Robert Downey Jr. in that too, but yeah, I would give it to Ryan because it's just I think it's like a harder performance. Honestly, it's like to be that
It's
funny
hard
and
to do
charming, and
comedy. It's hard
Yeah.
to do comedy.
for sure, and it's undervalued. 650.
675.
Wow, we already
Where's
matched
it
La
gonna
La
end?
Land.
Yeah.
I think that it's safe to say that these are like the two
Yeah.
big films. Like these are the two big ones.
Probably the biggest. Yeah. And I like Barbie more than La La Land. I'm going 700.
Whoa, Veronica.
Oh man.
It's Greta. I love the world. I love the production design of it. It's like it's so iconic. We just feel like it always existed, but like it's Barbie. It's, hi Barbie.
It's a cultural touchstone
Yeah.
for sure. It's one that's it's just going to stand the test of time the more it kind of goes on, and the way that the world building was with Greta did with that movie. It's definitely a testament. So I
Exactly.
understand. I understand the bidding. Brian,
I,
where are you at, dude? Are you going or no?
I just want to say that, like, going off like facial expressions and reactions, there's just multiple times where he just like does stuff with his face and it's so absurd and everything, and with his body. Like when they're at the party early on in the movie and see me lose, Ken does those backflips and everything, and then Gosling Ken is just like, what?
The way he's like angry dancing.
Yeah. And then beforehand, when he like gets like nursed back to health after his surfing incident, he's just like, all right, goodbye. Like, he's so funny. All right, 700. Let's go 710.
Oh my God.
Oh man.
$750.
Whoa!
Trying to price you out here.
All right, yeah, I don't think I could go that far.
Whew.
750 for Barbie. Wow.
Worth every penny. So I
Wow.
have $250 left to.
Brian,
work
you are in
with.
a prime position to run the
Yeah.
next 4 rounds
Yeah, you
straight.
can
I
kinda
really,
pick
I
anything
really
else.
am. I really am. All right, so
I love
Veronica,
Barbie.
Veronica, you get to draft the next pick.
Yes, I get to draft the next one. Okay. This is one that I love. I believe it's probably one of his next most popular. With my limited resources here, we'll see what I can do with it, but I'm happy to see everyone fight over it. I'm going to go with another 2016 movie, The Nice Guys. Let's start the bidding at $50 because I'm a little strapped for cash.
I'll go $90. This movie is incredible. It's so underrated. Why haven't we gotten the sequel yet? It's genuinely absurd that we don't have more of these. We should have at least 4 of these.
All right, I'm gonna give a hot take here.
Oh no.
Ooh.
Get off the pod.
I've watched this movie, so I've only seen this film once, and I saw it in the worst environment that you could see it in, which is why I don't love it. I think I don't love it as much as many other people.
You need to
Because when I go
rewatch it.
back, I know when I go back and see scenes from it, I'm like, I remember that scene being so funny, but then I don't love the rest of the narrative of the movie. Where did you go? 90, Brian?
Yeah, I'm at 90 right now.
I'll go 100 because I still think that his comedic beats in that film might be even better than Barbie. Because they're just laugh out loud funny. Just overall as a movie, I don't love The Nice Guys. There's other movies on the list that I like more. But
That's
I'll go
fair.
to 100.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'll bring it to 115. Yeah, I think that it's definitely it's a style of comedy, but it's very different from Barbie. Like he's less broad here, it's more he's dry in a lot of it, but there's also a lot of physical comedy. I think we talked about this in the 2016 draft, but him falling off that balcony is just like unmatched. Him hurting his hand. The hand through the glass and the immediate cut to an ambulance gets me every single time. And I
Shriek.
kind of similar to you, Darren. I think I saw this when it came out and like I liked it. I was like, oh yeah, good. And I didn't really like glom onto it too much. And then at some point in the last few years I rewatched it and it kind of has this reputation now, I feel like, for cinephiles that it's like this, kind of cult classic. And I was like, oh yeah, that's like really, really up there in his filmography, Russell Crowe's filmography, like one of the, highly rated comedies of the 2010s.
I just love that there's been this interview that's resurfaced where people have asked him about The Nice Guys, and it's like it's the Angry Birds movie's fault that we flopped because it came out the same weekend as the Angry Birds movie.
It's a letterbox interview with Sandra Hüller, right?
Yeah.
I thought, yeah. I just saw that literally yesterday. No, it's great. I mean, here's a question for you, not to detract from the bidding. Unless, Brian, did you give another bid yet?
No, I'm about to do that right now. Sorry, Veronica, I'm
Okay,
going to outbid you. $250.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you're going to price this both out anyway. Is there a better actor right now that does physical comedy better than Gosling?
No. I can't think of one on top of my head. That's
Right?
a
Like,
good question.
he's the closest, and again, I'm not trying to compare him necessarily, but, like, there's nobody else in the industry that does, like, Chaplin stuff. And,
I would
Gosling is one of the only people that I feel like still doing that.
I would raise you Melissa McCarthy, but
Yeah, that's fair.
different though, different kind
Yes.
of. But yeah, for sure, and especially as like someone who also doubles as like leading man movie star type. Like he's willing to go really broad where a lot of people aren't.
Yeah, I respect it.
All right, Brian, you're at 250.
All right. Is anyone Darian? Are you going to be bidding anymore, or are you going to
No, I'm out.
decline? You're
I'm
out.
out.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
$250 for the nice guys. That's a good. That's a good bid.
That's a good
There you
deal.
go. Now you got a good value
That,
pick,
that, that,
Brian. This is how
yes.
this is how it happens.
Yes. 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 Okay, Veronica, you get to draft the next one as well.
Okay, so I sneak around. Let's see what I'm gonna do here. Okay. Not sure how this one's gonna go. I think it's pretty well liked. I am going to put on the table Crazy Stupid Love. One of his pretty much a supporting performance, but he takes over a lot of the movie. I will open the bidding at $25.
Cal, be better than the Gap. Be better than the Gap.
David Lindhagen.
David Lindhagen.
Oh, love David Lindhagen.
I
Cuckolded me.
You said 25. I'm going 75.
Nice.
I'm going to go $100 on this one. This is a great romantic comedy. When we did our romance movie draft a while back with Darian's partner in crime, Liz, I can't believe that none of us mentioned it in the honorable. I don't think any of us mentioned it in the honorable mentions. I know we didn't draft it, but I was surprised that
I think
nobody
I had it on
mentioned it.
on my short list in a couple categories, but yeah, it didn't get drafted.
That
You're
almost
at
was
100.
going to be my pick for a rom-com when we did that draft. That was like right there.
You're at 100, Brian.
Yeah.
I'll go 120. I think the thing that makes it so great is that even because it is obviously by definition a romantic comedy, it's in even like the title of the film. It's one of the broadest comedic rom-coms
Yeah.
because there are so many moments that I like. That's a film. My girlfriend is not a cinephile like we are. Doesn't see a lot of movies, and that was one of the first films I showed her when we started dating, and she fell in love with it so much that since she's seen it 4 other times. So it's a movie that also relates to like everybody that's seen it. Like I don't know anybody personally that's seen that movie and doesn't love it. And Gosling completely steals the narrative away at times in like
Yes.
the best way possible.
That was the movie that made me go, oh, he's more than the guy from The Notebook. He's actually a really gifted actor. And that year, 2011, he did multiple films, some of which may come up later on in this draft. Like, it showed that was the year where he's like, I'm not just the guy from The Notebook, I'm more than that. And this movie was just like a really good showcase of him. And this was the first time where I think he showcased like, oh, I'm a gifted comedic actor. Because a lot of people were like, oh, The Nice Guys was my first exposure to him comedically, or Barbie was and I'm like, y'all, I've been on the train since Crazy Stupid Love. Are you people dumb? That movie is so good. Just like again, and his chemistry with Steve Carell and of course Emma Stone later on in the movie, but his back and forth with Carell is some of my favorite like on-screen parents that he's been involved with. So $100 was that the last bid?
I gave 120.
120. I'm gonna go up to 150.
Yeah, I think, and he had been the Notebook guy, but I feel like since then he kind of went in the other direction and did like the very like serious drama, kind of turns. And so this is one where
he did already
he
have
had
an
already
Oscar
done
nom at that point.
Yeah, he had the Oscar nom. He'd done some of the more serious dramas in his filmography. And then I feel like this is something where it's like, oh, okay, you can, I feel like a lot of actors are scared to switch to comedy or to do anything where they can be perceived as less serious. And he just really took this, this well-paced, well-written comedy. The structure of it is so brilliant. Oh my God, the scene when everything sort of converges is just
That's
top tier.
That's the biggest thing about that movie that I think is so great is that, when they marketed the movie, it looked like your conventional studio romantic comedy, but then you watch the movie and it's so much more than that. And it commentates on love and discovering yourself and relationships and everything from multiple generations. Like, I mean, we have the Steve Carell, Julianne Moore dynamic, then we have the Gosling, Emma Stone, and then we even have Carell and Moore's son trying to find love too. So I like that it's a multi-layered story following multiple characters, and then it all obviously ties together later on. And I mean, like, I always get cautious of spoiling it to people because I'm sure there's people out there who haven't seen it, but like, it's all over social media. It's like one of the greatest twists I think in a film in recent memory. It never gets old, like that moment, that big reveal.
Yeah, and I think my favorite single moment in that scene is him again, the sort of physical, not even comedy, but just physical choice that he makes to like take off his ring before he like punches somebody. That's just like he's so fun, and that character is just so like he kind of played on like a type that already sort of existed in culture and media. You know, he's kind of like Barney Stinson in How I Met Your Mother. Like he's got all these rules for dating women and stuff, but he manages to pull it off without being like too slimy or anything. Like that's a really fine line to walk.
He couldn't easily come off as a douche, and he really didn't in the long run.
So what was the last bid at?
150 was the last bid.
150. I will go 175.
Yeah. I'll go 180. I'll say that for a couple things to comment on that last scene, like you guys said, it's so layered, and I do think, like you said, Veronica, like he's such an alpha character, but the human element of it comes down with his dynamic with Emma, which I think elevates the reason why they're able to work even so well in La La Land. And it's like Damien Chazelle originally didn't even pick them to be the leads of the film, to bring them back together and kind of have that chemistry radiate. And since we're talking, again, not only just the impact that Gosling makes in these films, the ensemble for this movie is remarkable. Like Carell, Gosling, Julianne Moore, Emma Stone, Marissa Tomei is great in her scenes.
John Carroll Lynch. 5 years, asshole!
Like, John Carroll Lynch is great. Kevin Bacon is great.
Lynch.
So the ensemble's great, and like I said, I will I'll raise the bid to where were we at? What did I raise it to?
175, I think.
Yeah, 175.
I rewatched the movie before we did the romance draft, and it was just so funny watching John Carroll Lynch in this, because the last thing I had seen him in was Sorry Baby, and it was such a polar opposite. And now every time I see him in anything, I'm just going to be thinking of him handing a sandwich to Ava Victor when she's having a panic attack. That's the first thing I'm going to think of now going forward. I'm going to go $200 with this one.
I'll go 210.
I'm out.
210.
Okay, yep.
250.
I cannot go any further. You priced me out.
Goodbye.
So this is where now Bryan sees a massive advantage, because he has 2 movies to our 1, and he's at 500, and we're both in the 6s and the 7s.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy. Now I spent half my budget. Yeah, this is good.
Well, we spent more than half, and we only have 1 movie.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you'll get the next movie that I draft. Okay. Do we continue the comedy route, or do we go a different route? I think we'll put a pin on the comedy and go a different route. Okay. I am gonna start the bid for $50, and I am gonna go with Blue Valentine.
Oh.
Okay, interesting route. I didn't think you were gonna go there.
Love this movie. It's incredible. It's one of my favorite romance movies ever. And it's one of the hardest movies to watch ever, but it's so
This
good.
movie fucks you up, dude.
A very chill date night movie.
But it's so good, though. It's so good. I love movies that fuck me up. Maybe I'm just a sick individual. I
get it. There's a film, not that we're talking about this necessarily right now, but Manchester by the Sea is like one of my favorite films. And
also with Michelle Williams, fiddly enough.
I remember going to the theater to see that with my dad and walking out, and he's like, great movie, but never take me to see anything like this again. I'll go 75 for Blue Valentine, by the way.
We drafted Manchester by the Sea on the 2016 draft, and I talked about how I went with my dad as well, and my dad never cries to movies ever. And when I saw it, he was sobbing. I never saw that from my dad ever. And at that point, that was 2016, so I was 18. In the 18 years that I had lived at that point, I never saw my dad cry. So that was like a big moment for me.
I'm gonna leave the bidding to you too. I have to be a little choosier with my money now. So, but I haven't seen this in a while, but I do remember being really blown away by it. That they're both, he can be really, really scary in this one. Like he really turns into that darker side of him, and when he shows up at her office and everything, that's a really intense scene. That for such a likable guy, I think people just kind of want to inherently like and trust him, and so for him to play on that and really, really kind of twist it into something way darker, I think it's a pretty brave performance.
Yeah. It's really disappointing that he wasn't nominated for the Oscar for this, considering that Michelle Williams, who is also remarkable in this, got nominated. And, that movie wouldn't be what it is without both of them. So it's really sad that, they couldn't nominate him for the Oscar. So what was the last bid? $75?
75, yeah.
I'll go 85. I'll move it up to 85.
This movie it only was nominated for one Academy Award.
Yeah, just for
Which
Michelle
is
Williams.
a little surprising to me. I mean, I
Yeah.
want to take a second a little bit to talk about Seeing France because he's a director that I just think is able to get so much out of his performers on like even a movie which I don't know how you guys feel about it, but Brian and I we were at TIFF. Like Roofman was a movie that surprised me dramatically, especially
Yeah,
because
100%.
it wasn't something that Cian France is accustomed to doing with his character stories.
Yeah.
But his movies are so much about character, and like you said, like the character at the center of this is the relationship between Gosling and Michelle Williams. So, I mean, it's good value still at 85. So I'll go 90, and I'll probably cut it off there because there's a couple other films on this list that I still really like. But if you want to bid up, I still feel good about 90. For
You
Blue
know
Valentine.
what? I'm gonna tap out. I think 90 would have been as high as I would have gone on this.
I still feel good about it because I do think that on a deeper, like, it might be the best romance that he's done. It's a very different take, obviously, and the ukulele scene
Oh,
is
the
a
ukulele
classic. It's
scene.
probably in it, maybe in his top 5 scenes. So I still feel good with the value there at $90.
Perfect. Okay, so now Darian, it's back to you. What is going to be the next film to draft?
All right. So for the next movie, I am going to go with let's keep it on the Derek Cianfrance train. Let's go with The Place Beyond the Pines. It's a movie that I've seen it a couple times and it stuck with me because I saw it when it first came out and then I didn't return to it for quite a long time. And my favorite actor of all time is Bradley Cooper. So getting to see them on screen together is great, even if it's not necessarily completely converging the narrative all the time. And I also think this is the coolest that Ryan Gosling has ever looked, maybe in his career.
The bleach blonde hair, the biker look,
tattoos.
the tattoos. Yeah,
Yeah. So
Face
I'm gonna
tats.
start. I'll start the bidding at $50 for The Place Beyond the Pines.
This movie is so fucking underrated, and the fact that people haven't talked about it over the last few years is really sad because, well, now that you bring up that Bradley Cooper's your favorite actor, maybe we'll have to have you back on for a Bradley Cooper draft down the road. Let's mark it
there
in,
for it.
Veronica. Let's mark it down.
Yeah.
What did you bid it at? What was the starting bid?
50. I put it at 50.
I'll go 75 with this. I love the movie, and I love the way that it's structured too. Like 3 different stories at the forefront, and without spoiling anything, I don't know which story is my favorite. I think Gosling's might be my favorite, but he's incredible in this. He's so good in this, and like the emotional heft on this character, because the way that his character starts and the way that his journey ends, it's such a 180, and it's so effective. And also, it's kind of special because this is where he met his now wife, Eva Mendes.
Yeah, they have great chemistry, and again, he's doing that kind of like dirtbag thing really well, where you're kind of a bit repulsed, but you're also intrigued by him, and he toes that line so well. I'll bring it up to 100. I like this one better than Blue Valentine, I think, and he has a great partnership with Ben Mendelsohn too. I love any of their scenes
Yeah.
together. Another fantastic
agree
actor.
more.
So yeah, 100 for me.
Another great ensemble, by the way. This
Yeah.
dude just works with great casts.
Yeah. Like Bradley Cooper, Ryan Gosling, Ray Liotta, Eva Mendes, Mahershala Ali, Dane DeHaan, Ben Mendelsohn, just to name a few. It's like, it's a really good ensemble. Oh man, this movie's good. Do I want a bit higher? I'll go 110.
Okay. I
You
think
got
I'm
the
out
space
there.
for it, Brian.
Yeah.
You got the money for it.
I know, but I also don't know if I want to finish my team off so early into the draft.
It's fair.
Because
Gonna
if
leave me to
Veronica
clean
doesn't
up
get
whatever
this, it's
I
like
want.
Veronica only has one movie still.
She's positioning herself well, even though she doesn't
Yeah,
have a lot
I
of
mean,
money
with
left.
the film that she has definitely helps her
So
out
I
in
went
her
and blew all my
favor.
money on Barbie.
It's true.
110. How do you guys feel about the narrative choice of the movie with the way that it's structured and everything, without obviously spoiling it in case anyone hasn't seen it?
It's interesting because like we're saying, Gosling is so good in this, Bradley Cooper is so good in this, but they don't really interact. So it's like not much. Like it's a cool approach, I think, because you kind of it almost plays like short stories ish,
Yeah,
but it
like a
has
series
that.
of vignettes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it has that interconnectedness
Hmm.
that is really really well done.
I
I think it's very smart.
Yeah, I love Bradley Cooper's last scene in the movie when he's crying and everything. That's like a top three Bradley Cooper scene in my opinion.
I love that the movie feels so baked in itself that it like almost feels like it's like a grunge movie. Like it
Yeah.
feels dirty. Like the movie
Yeah.
just feels like this dirty narrative that's playing out over time. But
Hmm.
there's all these characters that you still feel for throughout the movie. And again, that's what I think Cian France does so well. And I hope that he does another movie with Gosling because he's 2 for 2. Like I'd love
They
to
were
see.
supposed to do Wolfman together. They were supposed to do that all those years ago,
It
but
would have
then
been
Wolfman
very
ended up
interesting.
becoming the crappy movie that it ended up becoming.
Yeah. All these IP hounds can't
Hmm.
make good. But again, that's what he managed to be in a good IP with Barbie. He was able to elevate and do something different. So I
Right.
mean, he backed out at the right time. Gosling clearly knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, he has good taste with choosing his projects for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
All
I'm
right.
out.
All right. So
I'm
is that
out.
me? Is
Ryan, you
that
got
me?
it. Yep.
I think it's
110.
you at 110. Yeah.
Wow. Nice. I love, and also a shout out to the opening sequence, that long take of the bikes going around. I don't know how they pulled that off. I don't know how they did that because like they did some cool trickery where it's like you could tell like it looked like Ryan Gosling doing it, but you know that it wasn't him. So I don't know how they pulled that off. It was very seamless.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like just the amount of physicality he does in some of his roles. Like I don't know. Hopefully I'm not playing spoiler to one of your guys' picks, but like The Fall Guy is a movie that I don't know if any of us are going to wind up picking, but I still think for a popcorn movie, it's better than a lot of these films because it's doing something original and because it's doing so much physical. And
Hmm.
Gosling loves that. He's like such an adrenaline junkie to just be like, yeah, I'll do whatever you need me to do. And even something like
Yeah.
First Man, it's like being able to have these space sequences and really kind of put his all into it. Like you guys said, he's just a committed actor. And I think that because his personality is so big, we forget that sometimes. You know, like we
Yes.
forget how great of an actual actor he is because his personality almost overshadows that at times.
Yeah, and kind of going back to him like having good taste. I think you look at any of his action heavy movies and like maybe with one exception, he there aren't many that could be considered like, Marvel-ish slop kind of action where it's, very very CGI heavy. It looks like it's, in the volume. Like it's I think that when he's considering, what sort of action do I want to like see represented here, like he picks good directors and movies that are well crafted to support him and actually support the story and the character rather than just being a little, chaotic.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, whose
Absolutely. All
pick
right.
is
So,
next?
Darian goes again
Okay.
because we're
Ooh, it's
snaking
me
around.
again. All right. This one might shock you guys.
Ooh.
I'm going to go with a movie at the very beginning of his filmography, and I'm going to go
Oh.
with Remember the Titans.
Okay.
Oh.
So I love this film. This is a movie that I saw when I was obviously very young. And I remember like this was a movie that even like when I was in like middle school and high school, like this was being shown. Like it's like a school movie, but at the same time, the reason I want to pick it for Gosling's sake is one, he's a part of this bigger ensemble of young actors and trying to kind of work his way into the industry from the Mouseketeers, like working his way and again being able to do it with a Disney movie. But it's this great era of like Disney dramas where they do these like self-serious kind of things, and it has a great Denzel performance that I think is again super underrated because it's in a Disney movie. But I don't know how many of you guys really relate to it, so I'll start the bidding at $20.
My dad loves this movie. My mom loves this movie. The Disney sports films I think are always I think they get a bad rep. A lot of them are actually really good movies. And I'm not even a sports guy, but I love a good sports film. And I think that they made, especially during that time in like the 2000s to maybe like the mid 2010s, they were really pumping out a lot of good sports films. I think Remember the Titans is maybe the strongest one that they've put out, and it helps too that Denzel is the lead of it, of course. But I haven't seen this in so long. I haven't watched this in forever, probably since high school. It's been a long time. Like you said, it's a school movie, but it's a good school movie. It's a very good
is.
school movie.
It's a high, 7.8 on IMDb as well, and Gosling also has a few great standout moments, like the scene where he's dancing in the
Yes,
dorm
the
room
dancing is
with
what I was gonna
his.
say.
Yes, and also like even the scene he has with the offensive coordinator where he's like, take me out of the game. Like he's not at the forefront of this movie, but again, we're drafting based on the films overall. And the fact that he is able to kind of elevate himself. And after this, he got another movie, which I haven't seen, but a lot of people say great things about, called The Believer, which is like a complete different turn coming off of this. So I want to give respect just because I think it really catapults Gosling into becoming a more serious actor off of Disney. And I still think it's just a great overall movie that anybody at any age could see and enjoy.
What was the last bid?
I gave it a 20.
20. I'm gonna bring it up to 50. I was on a podcast or something recently that someone was like, what's not the best Denzel performance, but just like the one that you like associate him most with?" And I was like, I gotta be honest, for me, I think it's Remember the Titans. This was like probably maybe one of the first things I saw Denzel, and it was definitely my first introduction to Ryan Gosling. I can remember, I guess he had already, I probably saw this after like The Notebook came out and stuff, so I guess I just knew of him, but this was the first time being like, oh, that's Ryan Gosling. And I love this movie. Definitely watched it like in middle school as like a, character building day or something. And it's very like, the story is it's very like racism is bad 101. But it's for a young adult audience, and like that's important to encounter at some point. So yeah, I think this is like a amazing film. I haven't rewatched it in a while, but this was like a huge one. I watched it a lot when I was a kid. And the Denzel, we already said, Gosling is great in a supporting performance. I love the dynamic between Wood Harris and Ryan Hurst, who are both like great, like mostly TV actors on other things. But I think that they, the way that they butt heads and then eventually form a friendship is like really, really well acted. Little baby Hayden Panettiere running around like a bat out of hell. She's so funny in that. She's like completely leaps off the screen. It's I don't, I'm not a sports person, but a great sports movie is a great movie. So like this is probably one of my favorite sports movies. Like this is such a personal childhood favorite for me. So yeah, I will. What did I bring the bid to? Something.
You're
like
at 50.
50. Yeah, I will go 50.
And also, I have to shout out that Donald Faison is in it, and that's my guy.
So good. Oh my god.
Boy.
That's my boy. Scrubs is back, baby.
The way that he says "sunshine," like he like his line reading gets stuck in my head between this and Clueless.
The chemistry between the players is so great. Like,
Yeah.
and just that, like the only other performance in a sports movie that I can compare it to in terms of the like, there's a couple. I mean, Denzel I think is elevated above the others, but Kurt Russell in Miracle and Samuel
Now
Jackson.
that is a film. That is a film
Great.
right there. I love.
And
Miracle.
again, Miracle is in that myriad of Disney adult dramas.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, start making them again. There are so
Yeah.
many stories in like not only in sports but just kind of, and they did more in like I think it was the 2010s. They did a few of them. And I didn't actually wind up seeing it, but I know a lot of people loved $1 Million Arm.
I love $1 Million Arm. Great.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it's literally just him playing Don Draper, like watered down for a family film, but
Works for me.
it's great. It's
Yeah,
so
and
good.
it gives you these great
McFarlane USA with Kevin Costner. That's a good one too.
That was another one.
I enjoyed
So
that
so
one, too.
they can still do that as a studio, and I hope that they do. I mean, again, I'm a Disney freak. We're not in my room right now, but I have too many Disney things in there to be embarrassed by. So it's like I want to see them kind of elevate and do more things like this.
But how can they? All they're doing is just Marvel and Star Wars crap.
I know. That's the problem. And
Yeah,
I'm a Marvel fan too and a Star Wars fan, but it's like we have to diversify the slate a little bit.
Yeah, and this is a great example of like a mid-budget thing. I mean, it has a big movie star in it and everything, but you could make one of these with C-list people, a decent script. Like you can keep the budget low, and it would probably, I mean, they'd probably dump it on Disney Plus, but like a thing like this, you could just release it in theaters, and it would be a nice hit, especially you release it at the right time of year and everything. Yeah, we just like don't get this sort of like mid-tier movie anymore.
I'm gonna go to 55.
I'm gonna bring it to 60.
Oh, Veronica, you're killing me.
Yeah, I'm just looking over a bunch of these Disney films. I really didn't think we were going to spend a lot of time on this movie. I'm very surprised.
Coach Herman Boone completely
So
turned this
good.
team around. I love him. Will Patton's very good in this as well.
Like
Everybody.
just
Yeah.
looking at the echelon of sports movies during this time, we had The Rookie with Dennis Quaid,
Oh, I love that film. I
Invincible with
love that
Mark
movie.
Wahlberg, The Greatest Game Ever Played with Shia LaBeouf, Glory
Another good one.
Road, which is that's an underrated movie. I watched that during the pandemic.
Best Josh
and-
Lucas performance
yeah,
ever.
that's a very good film. Secretariat with Diane Lane. Going back to the 90s, Angels in the Outfield, which was my introduction to Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Great movie.
So
You guys
much.
gotta have me on the sports movies draft too. I mean, like I could go on for the next 3 hours.
That's going to be a very interesting draft. Someone actually reached out to me like the other day about doing the sports movie draft, and that's going to be a tough one. There's so many good sports
There's a
movies.
lot.
Especially, I think baseball, that's going to be the toughest one to draft movies from.
Yeah. I'll go to 65.
75. I thought this was gonna be my like just clean up at the end when everyone has like $1 left. I didn't think that it was gonna be so popular.
Yeah, I had a strategy. With
We have a
putting it
sports guy
where
on
it
here.
did.
It was bound to
Yeah.
happen.
I know, and I had a strategy with me saying that one next, and that's why, as much as I love this movie, I have to back out because there's another movie that I really want. I need to save my money because I feel like I might bid it out with Brian.
Yep.
Wow.
Thank
All right,
you.
so
I
this
will
is
take it.
Veronica.
Oh,
What did you
Veronica,
get it
good
for?
pick.
75, I believe.
$75.
Good pick, Veronica.
Okay.
Thank you.
There we
for
go.
nominating.
Okay. So now it's my turn to draft a film next.
And so you only have one slot left.
I do. But obviously, if this gets taken from me,
Someone
I can
takes it,
draft
yep.
again. Man, this is tough.
A lot of good movies.
I don't know where to go next. Oh my god, I'm an idiot. The fact that we haven't drafted this yet is crazy. Okay.
Have a guess.
For $150, which seems like a very low bid even for me, I'm going to draft Blade Runner 2049.
Oh, not what I thought.
Okay, not what I thought either. So I feel very happy right now. So one of the biggest holes in my filmography is that I haven't seen the first Blade Runner.
Uh-huh.
So I did see this movie, but I don't feel like I have as much of the same emotional connection to it because I didn't see the first film. However, it's some of the best cinematography I've ever seen in a film.
Yes. Oscar-winning cinematography.
Yes.
Yeah,
Roger
it's
Deakins.
remarkable. And I love Dave Bautista in this movie too.
He's great.
He is great.
He needs
in
to
it.
keep working with Denis. I think some of his best work is when he works with Denis. He's so good in the Dune movies too. So
I hope another director in the same ilk as Denis will give him more chances to do things like this.
And you know
know?
what? He's diversified himself so well outside of Marvel. I mean, he's so good as Drax in the MCU. But, like, the fact that he did something like Blade Runner and the Dune movies, but then he was so funny in Glass Onion. He was so funny in that. And then I didn't like this movie, but I thought he was incredible in Knock at the Cabin. I thought he was really great in that.
He's very good in that.
What did I start the bet? $150?
You started the bids, and I'm not touching it because there's a movie that I want.
Fair. Veronica?
This is my favorite Jared Leto performance. No, I'm just kidding. Okay. Sort of similar. I think I watched the original Blade Runner like when this one was coming out. It wasn't really like a, classic for me or anything, so I sort of caught up with it for this. And I remember feeling I think I've only watched each of them once, and they're kind of like dense movies that you probably want a few
They're
rewatches.
very dense.
Yeah,
This especially is very dense. This is almost 3 hours long, so it's
Yeah, so I remember being like, I respect it. There's a lot going on here that I probably never really, got back to. So it's not a personal favorite for me, but a really, really well-crafted movie. Again, he's playing a leading man here. I think that he does a pretty good job of living up to Harrison Ford and being a good partner with him in this. But yeah, you can have it, Brian. Too rich for my blood.
sweet, perfect. I'm not even a big fan of the original Blade Runner. I like the movie, but I've never loved it. This, though, I think is like leaps and bounds better than the original Blade Runner. And I know to some people that might be crazy because the original is regarded as this monumental classic and everything. But I
Well,
think
which
that
version of the original? Sort of
yeah.
depends.
That
Well,
too, yeah.
true. But I also think that in terms of legacy sequels, this is maybe one of like top 3 best examples of how to make a sequel so many years after its predecessor. And, when Denis directed this, I think the studio was so impressed with what he did with Arrival that they were like, oh, we want to give you the opportunity to do a sci-fi thing. And then right after this came out, it was announced that he was doing Dune. And I'm like, well, after what he did with Blade Runner, the guy could do anything that he wants. Like, I mean, he could already do whatever he wants, but like he could really work well with a gigantic budget and everything in terms of the directing and everything. And yeah, visually and imagery wise, this is up there for some of the best of the last few years. And I'm really glad that this is the film that got Deakins his first Oscar. I mean, he should have already had at least like 7 of them at this point.
Yeah.
But the fact that this is the first one you reward him for, it's a great film. And it's like, yeah, and Gosling is wonderful in it. And I love his chemistry with Harrison Ford. And I love the fact that Harrison Ford accidentally punched him in the face. I love that he did that.
This was another press tour that was just great for a movie that like shouldn't have had like comedy bits in a press tour because the movie is so serene and so serious. But do you remember the one that it was the British reporter that was talking about like making the movie, and she was like, "Why did you decide to do this?" And Harrison Ford's like, "Money." And then like I think Gosling does like a spit take. It was just so great. I think that I would, and I really do like this movie, but I think I would like it more if I had a chance to see this in theaters because I missed it in theaters.
Yeah.
Because I didn't see the first movie, so I'm like, well, and I think at the time, like Blade Runner wasn't streaming anywhere, so I was like, all right, well, I can't go and see this movie because I haven't seen the first one.
Get caught up.
If I saw Blade Runner 2049 in IMAX, I might feel differently about this movie because I do think that it probably, based on my at-home experience, would have been one of the best IMAX experiences probably that I would have ever had. So, really respect the movie. There's just a couple more on here. One in particular that I'm saving my budget for.
Yeah, I feel like they need to do like a re-release, like double feature of the original.
You know what? Next year would be a perfect opportunity.
It's 10 years,
10 years, and it would be 45 years since the original Blade Runner. So I think it would be a good like idea to put both of them in the theater. I would watch both of them back to back. I would do that. If it's in like IMAX or Dolby, I would absolutely do that.
Yeah, I feel like they're probably going to wind up doing that, especially with a lot of the Fathom events and a lot of movies getting re-releases right now. I mean, guys, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2: Secret of the Ooze is back in theaters. Like, if that's getting a re-release, if that's getting a 35-year re-release, then we can get a 10-year for Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah, like, it'd be a perfect opportunity to do that. So my team is done. So now it's just up to you guys to finish off this draft. So, Veronica, we're going to go to you next.
I am going to, we've talked about his action-centered movies. I'm going to pick another one of those. Another one where he's sort of the title character. Let's go with 2011's Drive. I will open the bidding at, let's see, I have $175 left. I'll call it $50.
This is what I was waiting on.
Yeah.
This is what you thought I was going to pick?
This is what I thought you were going to take.
I do love this movie. I do love it. Let's see who gets it.
This is the complete flip from everything he's done. Even in terms of the environment that this movie is set in. Nicholas Winding Refn, like I think everybody bought stock in this guy after this movie, and like what an interesting career path he's had. But there's like this is another movie that I think sits in the cultural zeitgeist in a different way, comparatively to something like Barbie, where like this movie has become a real cult classic over the years, and I believe this is the 15th anniversary of this movie as well. I love this movie. It's one that I've only seen this movie once, and it's probably it's probably my second favorite Gosling movie. So I really love it. The violence is brutal, but it's necessary for what the film is. So I'm gonna jump into $100.
Okay. I'm at 175. Let's see. Yeah, I rewatched it a couple times when I saw it because I really liked it. It has my boy Oscar Isaac. I think it was in my phase of discovering
Daddy
him.
Oscar.
That's my baby. and him with Carey Mulligan again, also having a contentious relationship in Inside Llewyn Davis. They just can't seem to get along.
And now they're going to be in beef together.
Yes, I'm so excited. Oh my god. Yeah, this cast goes crazy here. Carey Mulligan, Oscar Isaac, Bryan Cranston, Albert Brooks, Christina Hendricks, my guy Ron Perlman.
Ron
Absolutely
Perlman,
love
baby.
him. So good. Just yeah, the cast is amazing. You know, the another thing where like he does iconic things really well, like the jacket, the scorpion jacket. You know, I feel like that's just sort of and this movie maybe gets a bad rap for being like a bit of a cinema bro kind of thing, where like a lot of, you know, weird guys went and bought that jacket and thought like it made them look cool, and like, you know, it's you can't fault a movie for like the reputation or the fandom that forms around it. Like I don't think there's anything bad in this movie in that way. So, you know, it's just, yeah, the action is really well done. That elevator scene with him and with Gosling and Carey Mulligan is really, you know, again, iconic. It's just really well done. Yeah, I would love to rewatch this. I haven't given it a spin in a while, but I remember this being a real favorite. So I will bring, what did you bring the bid to?
100.
100, right? 110.
Yeah, I mean, Albert Brooks is another one that's like his performance. It's so against type that it sticks out to me. The other thing is with this film, one of my favorite decades of film in general is the 70s, and this feels like a movie from the 70s. Like it feels like Thief. It feels like The Long Goodbye in some aspects, and that noir element, like to be able to do that in an elevated way in a more modern, I mean, again, now it's 15 years old, but it's just a movie that, again, stands out to me. And it is a bit film bro-y, and I don't love that term. But I do think that, I just think that it's telling a different kind of story also for Gosling, that we see, like, it gets more tender when he does something like Place Beyond the Pines, but this, he kind of swings for the fences in a different way. I'm gonna go 125.
I'll bring it to 150, and I don't have much to work with.
Come on, Darian, outbid her. Come on, you know you want to.
I mean, you can take it from me if you want, but
I'm going 175.
All right, I'm out.
I needed it. It was. I came in being like, as long as I get La La Land and Drive, I'll be happy. And you took Remember the Titans from me.
Yep.
So
Fair
I'll
enough.
take it for 175.
Perfect.
Well played.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
So you got $60 remaining.
That's what I got.
Okay, Veronica, you get to draft again.
Oh, I draft again. Okay. Let's see here.
I'm
Okay,
surprised that
I
there's a
will-
particular film that hasn't been drafted yet. I'm a little shocked about a certain film.
Might be this one. I am gonna go with his other Damien Chazelle collaboration,
That's the one.
First Man. Yep.
That's the one.
First Man. I'll start it at $50.
Well, I can't. I'm not
Oh,
going to.
you're at 60, right? Yeah.
I'm at 60. So, but I will talk about the movie. It's one. So this is another one. I've only seen it once, and I did see this one in IMAX, and I love the cinematography. But for some reason, and again, maybe it was because it's coming off the hype of La La Land that it's such a different movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I didn't relate to this as much as I wanted to. I do think Gosling is fantastic in the movie. It's just like when I look at all of his films, there's not a particular moment or scene in this that sticks out to me. Now, I think I need to see it again. It's one that I would welcome rewatching. But I didn't, like, this would be towards the bottom half of the movies I've seen of his, for me personally. But again, there's still things to love about it, like the cinematography. I do think he has a great performance. I think it's Claire Foy, right? Is his co-star in
Yes.
this?
Yeah.
She's great in the movie as
You're
well.
a bunch of boys. You don't have
I was-
anything under control.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you talk about like, is there one particular scene? Like that's actually the scene that I think about, and Claire Foy is most featured in that. But I think that Gosling just does a great job of centering this movie, and he's sort of like almost in like anti-presence, like he's just sort of this pit of like depression, and the fact that you take a movie about Neil Armstrong and sort of center it on his grief about losing his child and everything. I think that's just like a really interesting approach, a really like good lens to look at it, and something that you wouldn't automatically think of. And Gosling just embodies that so well.
I think that this movie is so incredible. It's actually my second favorite film from Chazelle. And I think that like it was so exciting to see him. You know, when it was announced that his follow-up to La La Land was going to be a movie about Neil Armstrong, everyone was like, really? The guy who made La La Land is going to make a movie about Neil Armstrong? Is he going to be dancing on the moon in this? I mean, he goes on the moon. Does he dance on it? Well, we don't really see if he does that. But I think it was such an exciting exercise from Chazelle to do something with a much bigger budget, some visual effects and everything. And I love the filmmaking of it. He shot it on 16 millimeter. It looked like it was literally taken out of a time capsule that was buried in the 60s. And I love the practical effects. I love that they actually shot the moon landing stuff on like an actual rock quarry, like outside Atlanta. And you would think that they went up to the moon, but it was so impressive. And I just think it gets a slight bad rep. And I get it. Like, when you follow up La La Land with this, it's not the most exciting follow-up, admittedly, but it was an exciting way to showcase that Chazelle is capable of doing other things besides movies about music and, like, musicals and everything. And I think Gosling's performance here ranks so high for me because it's more subdued. He's very quiet. He bottles in all that grief, like you were saying, Veronica, after the loss of his child. He doesn't really have any moments where he explodes. I don't think he explodes really at all in the movie. And I think that was refreshing because this was his follow-up to Blade Runner, where he did have some moments of exploding and everything. And I think that it was a really cool reminder that Gosling could really do anything. It's a really great film. I think that it's very underappreciated. A rewatch is definitely recommended. I think I've watched it a couple of times since it came out, and I think it's gotten better and better for me over the years.
And yeah, you would think that Chazelle going from La La Land to this, a movie in space about Neil Armstrong, that would be super stylistic and everything. But it really is. It's a character study. It's a very quiet, sort of somber movie, and I just think that's such a smart approach here.
Yeah.
The start of Gosling's space adventures.
Yeah,
right ahead of Project Hail Mary. No, it's definitely one that I want to rewatch, and I do remember that the tenderness and the quietness of his performance was something that really stood out to me in a positive way. I just think it's one I need to return to because just when I saw it, there probably were too many expectations, and I went in just like walking out. It was like, what did I just watch? And then I just never returned to it. So I do think it's one that I should go back to. But yeah. Veronica, it's yours for 50.
Sounds good. All right, that was my second pick, right?
Yes. All right, so Darian, you're next.
Oh, that was your third. You got Remember the Titans, too.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, my second, I picked Drive, and then I nominated
Snake.
Drive.
Okay. All right, so we each have one movie left now, right?
Yep.
All right. How much money you have left?
I have 125. Yeah.
Oh, boy. All right, now I'm nervous. All right. I'm going to go with The Big Short.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Now, The Big Short, I waited on this one because, again, I wanted to see how the draft kind of shook out. This is directed by one of my favorite comedy directors of all time, Adam McKay, who decides to go for a very different swing. And in the grand scheme of film, that's for better or for worse. Because after this movie, I do not like his films, basically. I wasn't a fan of Vice. I really didn't like Don't Look Up. But The Big Short, I think, does, when he's in his sweet spot, does it best. And I also think, in terms of Gosling in all of it, the Jenga scene is fantastic. It's just so well directed. It's so well paced. It's so well edited. And Gosling is just throwing it all. Throwing all caution to the wind in that scene. Just kind of letting it run with this whole concept, trying to explain to the audience this unbelievable housing crisis for a movie that can become convoluted at times because there's so much jargon being thrown at you. But I really respect this movie for a lot of the technical aspects of it because I think the editing is great. I think the pacing is great. And I think it has this, personally, I'm a big fan of frenetic movies. I'm a huge Safdie Brothers fan. So I'm going to start the bidding for Big Short at $25 because I don't have a lot to work with as it is.
Obviously, I can't bid because I don't have any more. I don't have any more slots. But one of the best moments in the movie is when he's in the bathroom and he just screams, "Jack to the tits!" He's probably my favorite performer in the movie. Actually, I think that I haven't seen this since it came out. It's been years since I've seen it. but it's like his performance and Carell's performance are kind of neck and neck for me in terms of my favorite. I know that Christian Bale is the one that got nominated everywhere.
Yeah, I like
and,
Christian Bale.
And I liked him in this too. And I liked Brad Pitt. I think Brad Pitt's performance doesn't get talked about enough either. But I will agree with you that this is the best of the Adam McKay foray into seriousness. I do not agree about the Don't Look Up slander. I like Don't Look Up. I don't love it, but I enjoy it. Vice,
Hot take.
Vice, I cannot stand. That movie sucks. But this and Adam McKay won an Oscar for this. He won for screenplay, which that still just blows my mind. It's like the guy who directed Step Brothers and Anchorman is an Oscar winner. That just that really shocks me. I need Adam McKay to like go back to do it. Do you guys remember he was supposed to like do some like business dramedy with Robert Pattinson as the lead? It was like Robert Pattinson, Robert Downey Jr., Danielle Deadwyler, Amy Adams, and then he pushed it aside because he wants to do another environmental movie. And I'm like, no, we already got that with Don't Look Up. Like, do something else, dude.
Yeah, he was working on Succession too. I think he
directed
pretty
the
big
pilot.
collaborator in that. Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy when you go back and rewatch the pilot and you're like, this doesn't feel like Succession at all.
No.
It feels like a different thing. Like it really does.
Very
but
different.
It sets the stage for what the show eventually becomes. And speaking of Succession and him and in this movie, Jeremy Strong gets a small supporting performance. Finn Wittrock gets a small performance. Is John Magaro in this too?
I believe so.
Right?
You know who else is in this? Fucking
people.
Schmidt from New Girl. He's also in this.
Is he really?
Max
he's-
Greenfield.
Yeah, he's one of like Carell's associates and everything.
One of the financial bros. Oh, and Hamish Linklater's in this.
Hamish Linklater, Marissa Tomei
Tracy
is in
Letts.
this.
You brought up Tracy Letts before.
Tracy
I mean,
Letts.
this
Oh,
is
yeah,
this is a crazy ensemble. This movie.
Physical Media King, Tracy Letts.
Yeah.
Karen Gillan, Rafe Spall, Melissa Leo, Margot Robbie has a cameo. Selena Gomez has a
Yes.
cameo.
Anthony Bourdain.
Anthony
cameo.
Bourdain,
Rest in peace.
rest in peace. Oh my God, stats, Cass.
Really stacked. Yeah, I agree that of the new era of Adam McKay, starting with this film, this is my favorite. I would go this, then Vice, then Don't Look Up. But
You like Vice
whatever
more than
you're,
Don't Look Up?
I like
Oh my
Vice more than
God.
Don't Look Up.
Oh my
I
God.
do. I do. I do
Oh
too,
my
Brian.
God. Fucking Sam Rockwell as George Bush. Oh, horrible performance. Awful.
Rough. Wasn't he nominated for that too?
Unfortunately, yes.
He was, yeah.
They're like, oh, we gave him an
Crazy.
Oscar last year. Let's nominate him again just for the hell of it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't love it, but I don't like Don't Look Up either. So,
Man.
yeah,
Well,
this
don't
is,
look up Hive. Where you at? Like, back me up.
They all got blown up in the meteor or whatever.
Comment your thoughts if you like Jennifer Lawrence's hair and Don't Look Up.
Well, that's bad. I will admit that that's pretty bad.
Anyway, I like The Big Short. I think I'll let you have it here, but yeah, I do like this. I remember thinking when it came out, I had a hot take that I've also since reversed, that when Wolf of Wall Street came out, I didn't really like it, and a lot of that was because I felt kind of annoyed by Leo's like fourth wall breaking, where he was like, don't worry about any of this shit, like it's illegal and we were making a lot of money and whatever, and I was kind of like, that felt like, I don't know, a bit condescending or something. I've since rewatched that and I like that movie a lot more now, but I kind of liked this movie for taking the swing of like actually trying to explain this shit to you, and like it's didactic in that way, and it's probably not for everyone. Like that probably turns a lot of people off, but I thought it was a cool approach to, you have this pretty grounded story with these, great actors playing real people and everything. So, you have that to glom onto. But I kind of like the flights of fancy that it takes to, have Margot Robbie in a bathtub explaining whatever it is, housing shorts or whatever. I still don't understand the financial crisis,
housing
but I
market
tried.
in general, yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a well written film, well directed, and an amazing cast here. And Gosling, I don't know that he really stands out in this one quite as much as a lot of the other movies we've mentioned. His energy is a little bit similar to his Crazy Stupid Love character. Like I feel like he's, a little bit of that like fast talking, like guy who can kind of sell you on anything, which he does very well. And I think that, and again, he's not the star here. He's got to fit into a larger ensemble. So, yeah, really, really good pick.
How much did you bid this for? $20?
I got it for 25, so
25.
I ended up with 35 left in the end.
All right, and now we're on our final pick. So,
All right,
Veronica,
so
what do you
I
got?
have
You could pick whatever
Pick
you
of the
want.
litter. Well, I'm gonna go with this really little indie movie called The Notebook. Don't know if you've heard of it. This is maybe a little bit of a cynical pick because it's not one of my favorite movies. I like it. I don't love it. But I think it's going to look pretty good on a list when people are voting because I think it's pretty popular. Yeah. Do I have to even? I will bid $1.
A dollar?
There you go.
Okay. All right.
Get it
No,
for a
no one
dollar.
else is in your room. So
Well, I was gonna say that was part of my thought process with like it was either Remember the Titans or Notebook. It's like one of these movies is gonna stand out to one section of your guys' audience, and I'm like, I wanted to get one of them.
100%.
I wanted to get
100%.
I wanted to get one of them, but I like the Notebook a lot. That's a film that the first time I saw it, I was way too young to understand the actual kind of complexities that come with that movie. Um, my favorite part of that film, though I do like the chemistry, and obviously there was a lot going on behind the scenes with Gosling and McAdams at the time. But the older storyline with them in their later years is something that like stands out to me the older I get, and it's just like, man, what a heartbreaking moment. So there's great moments in the Notebook, but it's not one of my absolute favorite Gosling performances either.
yeah, that's the thing. I do like the movie. It's just not one that I rewatch or go back to a lot because it's really sad. Like it's
Yeah.
there are great romantic comedic moments and that sort of like sweeping epic thing. But yeah, to actually make it all the way through the whole movie is like a bit of a depressing watch. So I don't go back and revisit it a lot, but it is very good. And for as popular as it is, like it's got a lot of quality there to chew on. James Marsden, he comes up on this podcast a lot. Very good. Can't imagine having to choose between those two men. The poor thing, Rachel McAdams. But yeah, and James Gardner and Gina Rollins in the other timeline are just really great and heartbreaking.
Yeah, we talked about this on the romance draft. I think Liz
Right.
drafted this movie. I'm not really a big Nicholas Sparks movie guy, and I know that those films have their own audience, and that's great and everything. This is objectively the best of those Nicholas Sparks movies. I mean, I don't think anyone disagrees with that take. I think that this is objectively the strongest of all of them. I haven't seen this movie that much. I've only seen it probably once in its entirety. And it's solid, and I think the thing that carries the movie for me is the chemistry. And I'm glad that you brought up the whole Gina Reynolds and James Garner. I think that they're both incredible. I think they make up the movie and everything. But I do love Gosling and McAdams together. And there have been times where I'm like, I wish that they would work together again, but that's probably never going to happen, unfortunately. And with
them recreating the kiss at the MTV Movie Awards or something, also iconic.
It's also interesting too because they both, and it's a good case for Gosling as well, where you watch them in that movie and you kind of perceive them as these people, but then you see the work that they've done afterwards, where they've showcased that they're more than that. Like, I mean, if you want to talk about somebody with so much range, Rachel McAdams is up there. I mean, did you guys see Send Help? She went all out for that movie and everything.
Dude,
Yeah,
I love
they're well
Rachel
matched in that
McAdams.
way.
Yeah,
She's great. I mean, I also think she's one of the most beautiful women to ever exist.
I agree.
But like, yeah, I do think that they're able to. I don't love the stuff in the beginning of this movie with them. I actually like a lot more when she returns back to him, and I do agree, Veronica. Like, I'm here for the James Marsden hide. I think Corny Collins is my boy.
Corny
and he
Hot,
always
let's
will be.
go.
But no, this is a movie that again, like I think I've seen this 3 times, and I appreciate it more when I watch it. And I agree, Brian. Nicholas Sparks, not always kind of the author I would gravitate towards, but I would take 50 Nicholas Sparks movies before I have to see another Colleen Hoover movie.
I was just about to say the same exact
So,
thing.
I didn't read It Ends With Us, but I remember seeing that movie in theater. And again, there was so much behind the scenes, so maybe that's unfair.
Well, this weekend
because the production was a disaster.
we have a Colleen Hoover adaptation out.
It's
We have
true.
one out right now.
Michael Monroe is a romantic lead, though. I don't know how that's gonna go.
Yeah, I don't really buy that either. I am intrigued though for the one that Josh Hartnett is in and Anne
Yes,
Hathaway and Dakota
same.
Johnson because I
Yeah.
like all
Verity,
three of
yeah.
them. So like,
Yeah, why would they
That
have all
should be
signed on
interesting.
if it sucked?
Yeah.
true, exactly. All right, so
Okay.
those are our teams. Let's recap our teams and then we'll just shout out a few films that didn't make the team. So Darian, go first. Read off the film and how much you drafted for it.
Okay, so pretty sure I got these numbers right. I was trying to keep track throughout the whole pod, but I drafted La La Land first for $675. Then I got Blue Valentine for $90. I got Drive for 175, and I got The Big Short for 25.
Yep. And I got
Nice.
The Nice Guys for $250, Crazy Stupid Love for $250, The Place Beyond the Pines for $110, and Blade Runner 2049 with $150.
And I bought Barbie for 750, worth every penny. Remember the Titans I got for 75, First Man for 50, and The Notebook for 1.
I have no idea who's going to win this draft. This is
I
going
don't
to be a
know,
very
yeah.
interesting one.
These are diverse slates. This is why I
Yeah.
like it. But again, that's the whole encapsulation of this dude's career, and it's a testament to his longevity. Like this is not to get too much off topic, but I'm really curious. Where do you guys think his career ends up in like 20 years?
I think in
Like,
20
does he go the
years.
Redford route? Like, is that where we're gonna see things happen for him?
I think that that's a possibility. I do think that within 20 years he'll have an Oscar. I'm calling it right now. I think he's going to have an
Yeah.
Oscar within the next 20 years. But yeah, I think that in 20 years when he's in his 60s, he'll probably go like maybe the Redford route, maybe like very selective with the roles and everything. Yeah, that's a good question. What do you think, Veronica?
Yeah, it's interesting because correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I know, like I don't think he's gone the route of a lot of other big movie stars. I'm thinking like Margot Robbie and stuff, where she's doing a lot of like producing and developing and kind of like can has a bigger hand in that project. Like I feel like he just kind of he signs on for these things and then makes all of these characters that we've been talking about like really his own. So it's interesting. I don't know that he you can't really pin him down to like, oh, he likes this type of movie. He likes working with this kind of director. As we've talked about, like his filmography is so diverse. So, I'm hoping for that to continue. I think that he's definitely, he's a younger guy, like, he's especially for movie star years. So I think that he could keep doing the action stuff for a while. He's great at drama. He's great at comedy. Like he's got the sort of, toolbox that you could just keep going forever. And I would love to see him, acting at 90 years old and see what he's up to. Yeah, I do think definitely an Oscar should be in his future. I'm sure sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's been starting to produce. He produced The Fall Guy. He was a producer on
Okay.
Project Hail Mary, and he is a producer on the upcoming Star Wars film that he's in.
Okay.
Which,
Good. He'll make a lot of money off of that.
Are we looking forward to that or no? I'm intrigued to see it because it's a new story in the Star Wars universe, and Gosling in Star Wars, that he's kind of perfect for that world and everything, but the Sean Levy of it all kind of terrifies me.
Yeah.
So I don't dislike Sean Levy. I don't
Big Fat
hate
Liar. He'll
all
always
this
have
stuff.
my heart. He made Big Fat Liar and Night at the Museum, so like.
Night at the Museum is a classic from my childhood.
Yeah, he made two of the classics for my childhood, that and Big Fat Liar. And
I
I
do
like
think-
some of his other stuff too, but
I think that his directing style actually comes very natural to Star Wars, and that's where I think that he actually can have success with it. I'm intrigued by it because the cast is like stacked. Like
we need
Gosling,
Amy Adams in a good movie again.
Yeah, but like it's just like such a different kind of cast for a Star Wars movie. Like Mia Goth in a Star Wars movie is intriguing. Matt Smith in a Star Wars movie is intriguing.
Well, Matt Smith could do anything. He could do anything. Aaron
That's what I
Pierre.
mean. And and Daniel Ings. I don't know if either of you guys are fans of Game of Thrones, but he was my favorite part of House of the Seven
Oh my God,
Kingdoms in the
so
show.
good. Yes.
Like he's hilarious.
I haven't watched the new Thrones show yet.
I hope
It's very
he
good.
plays. I hope he plays like one of these like weird bounty hunters off the beaten path that Gosling kind of runs into. Like the cast fits it. I think Levy fits it as a director. So I have hopes for it. I mean, Star Wars is kind of in a disastrous place right now, to be quite honest with you. So, but there was actually, I was thinking like a director I'd like to see Gosling work with is Nancy Meyers.
Yes.
Because I'd like to see him do something. I want to see him do something akin to A Crazy Stupid Love, but even more tender, like not as big comedically. Like I'd like to see him kind of lean into the romance again, because he does it well. He does it well with chemistry with every single one of his co-stars. Like even in The Fall Guy, which I think is a good movie, not great. I loved him and Emily Blunt in it together, and I'd like to see him kind of do something a little bit different. So maybe something a little bit more kind of stripped back after Star Wars, I would be really interested in seeing.
Yeah, he hasn't worked with a lot of female filmmakers either. He's
That
only worked
too,
with a very
yeah.
small amount of them. I don't think Greta Gerwig is the only female filmmaker he's worked with, but he hasn't worked with a ton of them. And Yeah, it would be fun to see him work with someone like a Nancy Meyers or a Sofia Coppola. That would be really, really cool. I guess in terms of other filmmakers, I am surprised he hasn't worked with Spielberg yet. As cliche as that sounds, I'm shocked that he hasn't worked with him yet. I'm shocked he hasn't
No,
worked
that'd be
with
great.
Scorsese yet. Like there's some major filmmakers where I'm like, why haven't you worked with this person? I kind of wanted to work with I don't know where you two stand on this filmmaker. I think you're a fan, Veronica. I don't know where you stand, Darian, but I think it would be cool to see him work with Noah Baumbach directed. I mean, he got to speak
I love
Noah
Noah, yeah.
Baumbach dialogue in Barbie, but it'd be cool to see him work with Noah Baumbach as a director. And Gosling himself directed years ago, and the film was like universally panned. Like not a lot of people liked it. And recently, he's talked about how he would like to direct again. And I think it would be very interesting to see if him try again at the directing table.
Yeah, yeah, like you're talking about Darian, like that sort of like Nancy Meyers-esque, like, you know, adults romantic movie, drama movie, whatever it is. Like that's the sort of thing that is so much harder to get made now. But like I think Gosling has the star power and the pull to get something like that across the line and hopefully make it a hit. And you know, I think people would. People would come out to the theaters to see him do some giant action blockbuster like we're hopefully going to see with Project Hail Mary, but I think they would also come out to just see him be like a regular guy and take on that kind of character too. So I hope that he continues to like have that, you know, wide range that we've seen from him so far.
Yeah, I think that there's still a lot of room in his filmography to do a lot of different
Yeah.
things. I think that, I mean, Scorsese is one of, if not my favorite filmmaker, and I'd love to see him work with him. I just think that the more I see the direction Scorsese's going, at his like please live forever, but at his
Yeah.
elderly age, he's doing these huge movies. Like Killers of the Flower Moon was massive. His next movie's a little bit more stripped back, but I know that after that, like, I mean, he has so many movies in development, but like there's the Hawaii crime drama that he's working on. There's the Sinatra movie that's been in development forever. He's involved in a movie with the Ramones, and it's like I don't know if Gosling fits any of that. Like, if Scorsese was ever to do like another Color of Money, like that's something where I could see Gosling coming in and kind of, even if he's kind of shepherding as that not obviously like middle-aged type of guy, because he still kind of has that young charm to him, but something where it's like in the vein of like the relationship between him and Steve Carell in Crazy Stupid Love, but with a younger actor. That could be something interesting that we could see him do. But like you talked about, Brian, working with a female filmmaker is something that I'd really like to see him do, because like you said, I don't think he's done a lot of it. Baumbach is interesting because I don't know how he fits in Baumbach. Like it's such an, and I'm a huge Baumbach guy, but it's such a specific type of comedy that he's so broad.
Yeah, it's like, would he do like more comedic Baumbach or more serious Baumbach? Like, would he go down the route of something like, I don't know, like a Francis Ha, or would he do like a Marriage Story type of role?
Yeah, I don't see Marriage Story in him. I don't know, and that's not that
I mean, he
can't
did Blue
do
Valentine. That's essentially
That's
his
true.
Marriage Story.
Yeah.
That's true. It's just it's got a darker tinge to it. You know,
Yeah,
like
I
it has.
I could see him in like a like Ben Stiller and Meyerowitz Story type role where he's like beleaguered
Oh.
and kind of like down on his luck or something. Like,
Man.
I think he could do that
I
really
would
well.
love for him to work with Ben Stiller. Like, even if it's just acting or directing, like, Ben Stiller needs to direct more stuff. The stuff that he's done on television, like, it shows that he's an incredible filmmaker. So, yeah.
I mean, put
man.
Gosling in season 3 of Severance, but that'll never happen. But
Yeah,
I would like love it.
in 5
I
years,
love
we'll
it.
get that in 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we don't want to
But-
bog down in that.
Yeah, but I mean, there's the like you said, Veronica. He has the bankability to kind of get. You would hope he'd be able to get a lot of movies made. I mean, The Fall Guy. It's just like that's another example of like that was a movie that was supposed to do really well, and I think it was a loss for the studio because it was based on an IP that people don't know about. But it's like it was a decent movie.
it was
man.
good.
Like,
Yeah, it was very
it was
good.
good.
I saw it at the world premiere at South by. I had a fun time with it. I mean, I haven't watched it since it came out, but I enjoyed it for what it was. I had a really good time with it, and I liked the chemistry with him and Emily Blunt.
It's like the most 3.5 stars movie ever. Like you're just gonna have a
That's
really
exactly
good
what
time.
it is. So, you know, before we close out the draft and everything, are there any films that we obviously didn't draft that you want to mention? I, for one, am a big fan of Ides of March, his other 2011 movie. I don't
That was the
care.
other one
I'm
I
not
had.
a big, like, political dramas aren't my favorite thing, to be honest. You really have to hook me to watch them. I think that's one of the strongest political dramas we've ever gotten. And I also think that might be George Clooney's best directing outing as well. Him and Clooney bounce off each other really wonderfully. I think that that's another very good dynamic and everything. So that would be like probably the big shout out for me in terms of films that we haven't mentioned. Other than that, I mean, like, I can't really think of anything else that hadn't been mentioned. Oh, Lars and the Real Girl. I think he's great in that
I was going to
movie.
say that. Yeah, that was probably next on my list if we had one more to draft.
Yeah.
I haven't rewatched it in a while, but I remember really liking that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ides of March was the one that I wasn't sure where we were going to go with it. I don't know if Gosling's ever been surrounded by more adult male talent, like ever, with Clooney, Giamatti, the late great Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Jeffrey Wright in that film.
I think a big thing today that we've noticed is that he's in all these movies with amazing ensembles.
Yeah, and there's one movie that I want to throw out there because I think it's actually one of my least favorite movies I've ever seen that he's in. And I love him, and it's not his fault.
These are dishonorable mentions, as we coined on the last draft.
Yeah, this is Gangster Squad, which
It's a pretty bad movie. Pretty bad.
a huge gangster movie fan. Like, what an absolute tone deaf movie. Like,
I don't think I ever even
everything
saw it.
about
I just
It's
skipped
pretty
it.
bad. But again,
pretty bad.
another good cast. Let me read it down. So
Crazy
joining
cast.
joining Gosling, we have Josh Brolin, Nick Nolte, Emma Stone, Anthony Mackie, Giovanni Ribisi, Robert Patrick, Michael Pena, and Sean Penn. It's a hell of a cast.
Yeah, Sean Penn in that movie, I see in my nightmares.
Oh my
Because
god.
it's
And Mickey Cohen. You
Yeah.
do this to me and you do it to me.
say hello to Santa Claus. Like, I just can't. I can't do it. But yes, Lars and the Real Girl is another one that's a really underrated performance by his. Really weird movie, but really great. And I wanted to give a shout out. I don't love the movie overall, but him and Half Nelson is great. And I am a teacher, so like being able to see that play out on that format is always something that's really interesting to me. So Half Nelson performance I think is great. Movie I think is middle of the line, but I do think he's great in the film.
I wanted to try to watch that before this, and I didn't have a chance because that was his first Oscar nom and everything. And also All Good Things I haven't gotten to see, but I don't. That one is
Yeah, that one
maybe
I
a little
wanted
more
to
middling.
see too. That's the Robert
With him and
Durst movie.
Kirsten Dunst, yeah.
Yeah, that one I haven't seen either. And yeah, it's crazy when you look at his filmography between like 2016 and now. He hasn't done a lot. He's been very selective with his roles. And I mean, last question I'll ask before we close out the draft. I've already seen Project Hail Mary. What's your guys' anticipation for it? Obviously, Veronica and I are going to review it next week for the show. But what's your anticipation level for it? I'm sure both of you are very excited to see it.
I am, yeah. I had heard of the book, but haven't read it or anything. Maybe I will after I see the movie. So I'm not. I've kind of tried to. I saw maybe the earlier trailers, but I've kind of tried to stay away from any other info about it because I knew I wanted to see it and I knew that it was getting pretty rave reviews. So yeah, I'm always down for new ambitious sci-fi. Love him. Love Sandra Hüller. Yeah, I'm really excited with the sorts of reactions that it's been getting.
Yeah, Brian, you texted me and told me how much you love the film and even more that you love the book. And one of my co-hosts, Mark Iacobino, said it's in his top 3 favorite books of all time. So when I heard that, and Ryan Gosling also happens to be his favorite actor ever. So hearing that and the anticipation for it, it made number 9 in my top 10 most anticipated films. So I am really excited for it. Really excited to see it in IMAX. In a great big format. And I love Lord and Miller too. And I'd like to see them kind of get an elevation in the industry again post the chaos that was Solo. So I'd like to see, I'm excited for the movie. I'm seeing it on Thursday in IMAX. So I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, I'm happy that they finally got to make their space movie and everything. Not to spoil my thoughts and everything, but I think it's so incredible that they finally got the opportunity to make, something very different. And the fact that they haven't directed in 12 years is insane to me because
Yeah.
it feels like the
Right,
Lego
yeah.
movie and 22 Jump Street just came out like 3 years ago. I mean, they've been doing really great on the producing side. They obviously won an Oscar for producing Into the Spider-Verse and everything, which is so sick that they're Oscar winners and everything. But yeah, I'm very excited for you guys to see it. I'm excited for everybody to see it. I'm excited to talk about it on the pod next week. And yeah, go see Project Hail Mary, please.
Yes, for sure. So that concludes our Ryan Gosling auction draft. Be sure to vote on our Twitter and Instagram.
And with that is a wrap on today's episode of Some Like It Real. Thank you all for joining us. If you're interested in following along our journey, you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Letterboxd at Brian Sutfield.
And you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Vero Albarella and on Letterboxd at Alba_real_A.
And thank you to Darian for joining us today. Darian, where could the listeners find you?
You guys can find me on Instagram at DJ Scal, and if you guys want to follow my podcast on YouTube, you guys can type in Culture Wave Media on YouTube.
Please give Culture Wave a follow. They're doing a lot of incredible stuff. Plus, New Jersey representation. That's a very big, important thing. We need to keep the Jersey film scene going. We need to let people know that there's not just cinephiles in New York and LA. They're all over the world, and there's a ton of them here in Jersey. So go follow Darian. He's doing so much incredible stuff over at the Culture Wave and Cinema Wave, and please just follow that wave. Just go follow that wave.
Follow the wave. We got plenty of room for the wave.
Go give Darian a follow. Links will be in the description, and you can follow the show on all socials at Some Like It Real, as well as on YouTube at Some Like It Real. Be sure to share and subscribe all around, and tune in every Monday for a new episode of Some Like It Real on podcast platforms.
We'll see you next time.